Good morning all, how's everybody doing? Listen, we made some changes to our sticky toffee pudding I want to show you about, so I'm not going to bore you with any long intros, let's just get right to it. First is our toffee sauce, and what's really important here about our toffee sauce is getting that sugar well melted so that we don't have any of those granular grains we're putting on top of the toffee pudding. So I'm just going to show you what the butter and the sugar looks like at this point, and bear with me, I'm a one-man show today. So, here we've got our butter, it's well melted. I'm going to add to that our 40 ounces of brown sugar. We're going to give that a good stir just to incorporate everything. And we're going to let this sit over medium heat for a couple of minutes, and I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like when we're ready to add our 35% cream. Here's a quick shot of what the butter and brown sugar looks like kind of halfway through the melt out process. Really important here, you got to keep stirring it, okay? You can't let that sugar burn. Keep moving it around. Sugar's starting to get nice and soft, and we're going to bring this to a gentle boil. We'll actually get some foam happening here in this pot, and we should be there in a minute or two. Okay, so here's a really good shot of our butter and brown sugar mixture, just at a gentle simmer. You got to get it this far in order to get that brown sugar completely melted. What we're making here is toffee, okay? At this stage, we can turn our heat off, and we just need to let that boil settle down. Alright gang, so our boil has settled down a little bit here, and now we're going to whisk in our 35% cream, or stir in I guess. I've got a spatula here, not a whisk. So we're going to stir that in, make sure it gets fully incorporated. And we're going to get our heat back on and bring that up just to a bit of a simmer. We're going to simmer it out for about 2 minutes. Okay, so here we have our sticky toffee sauce. Just at a gentle simmer, our 2 minutes is up. And this sauce is ready to go for our sticky toffee pudding. Alright, and here we go with the actual pudding itself. So we're going to place our butter, sugar into our RoboCoupe, Cuisinart, whatever you might have, assuming I can get this working. And we are going to give that a mix for 1 minute until that sugar, butter really cream together really well, okay? Okay, once our butter and sugar mixture is well mixed, we're going to add our liquid eggs. We're just going to give that about 5 seconds. All we want to do is incorporate it all together. Looks good. Lid comes off. In goes baking soda. Half of our flour. That'd be exactly half. The idea here is we got to get half in now. And we're going to give that a good mix. You're going to end up with a pretty thick sort of doughy paste at this point in time. I'll show you what this looks like here in a sec. So at this step, here's what we have. Okay, pretty doughy mixture. Once we got that doughy mixture, we need to put in our raisins, coffee, we're going to give that a really good mix at this point. Got to make sure those raisins get really well chopped up. 1/16 of an inch is the largest size we need here. Stop it, take a look, dig down in there, see what the raisins are like. Still got some pretty big chunks in there. I'm just going to give it a little bit longer. chunks of raisins at this stage. Just let it go a little bit longer. You need those raisins to be ground right down inside this pudding mix. Sticky pudding mix. Just going to pour this out into a separate container. And I'm going to show you as best I can here the kind of consistency we're looking for in terms of the mix itself. Just tiny particulate of raisin. This is hard to do with one person. And now we're going to go on to pouring it into the molds. The process in the molds is exactly as it was before. We've actually put a 1/4 ounce of the toffee sauce in the bottom of the foil, not a 1/2 ounce as the original recipe said. It's got the same spiced pecan, same cranberry, same raisin, same 3-ounce portion. Okay, so I'm just going to ladle that in, put this into our oven. Oven's at 275 degrees. On a baking sheet like you see here is fine. And it's going to go in there for 30 minutes or until a dry wooden pick comes out dry of any batter. All right, I'll get them in and I'll show you in a couple of minutes what this final product looks like. Okay, gang, and here you have the final product. Take note of how much height we have here over and above the tinfoil shell. And I just want to make one note for the line cooks. When you're flipping these over into the bowl, you should definitely have a good amount of the spiced pecans and raisins and cranberries on top, or bottom I guess, but an inverted top now of the pudding. And notice the pie shell is clean. So that's it. Hope this was valuable to you. Changes on the fly are one of the strengths we have as a company, but we need to make sure that we're following this video and the revised spec ASAP. And make sure we get this in front of all of our front of house peeps so they can see the vast improvements to this fantastic dessert item. Cheers!